Hello there, this is Alan Collins, and you're listening to the
Stoned Roadie Show.
When we get up in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake, if you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as we head out on the road. So sit right back and buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. Good morning.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 253, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 127, and action. Alrighty there, fellow slaves and earthlings, looky here. This is December the 2nd, 2024. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stone Roadie, and with me, as most always, the co-host and my co-pilot and the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what the heck we got going on this Monday here on 1st of December the 2nd? Yeah, we got December 2nd. Yeah, I promised I'd have all that stuff out by Christmas. I better get on the stick, ain't I?
Today's Gene Odom's birthday.
How about that? December 2nd. Happy birthday.
He was up in Gillsburg, Mississippi. I talked to him day before yesterday, and he's trying to make it back by today sometime because I'm supposed to take him jigger fishing tonight, right down the lake right here beside my house. And
jigger fishing. You ever done jigger fishing?
No, that's why I was kind of, but I got a little bit of walking pneumonia right now. So, and it's been cold out here. So I'm going to see how that turns out. You know, because you do it at night.
It's freaking 20 degrees here in Ohio.
Yeah, and you say your furnace is broken.
My furnace went out. Yeah, I noticed it on Friday afternoon, and I couldn't get I just had the dang. I got an oil furnace. Just had them out here 2 weeks ago and did a tune-up on my furnace. And it's not been cold enough to run the oil. I've just been running the heat pump, but man, it got down into the 20s, and I noticed that it was trying to run off the heat pump, and heat pump won't run under 40. So, but this is a brick house, and it's pretty well insulated, and I got me an Eden Pure heater in here in my office. So it's a little chilly in the house, but it's all right.
Yeah, you can crack the oven open like old times,
right.
You know.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You can get that fireplace stoked up.
Last night I slept in my ski suit. I just pretend like I'm camping out. I had my Russian hat on and my ski suit.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's you never know. Down in Florida, it's air conditioner. Up there, it's the heater. You know? And,
I'm preparing to survive anyways. It's coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah, I tell you what, Craig, I've been screwing up editing on these videos left and right. On the last one that you and I did, I screwed up the ending of it. I did that Dave the Disciple video all wrong. I got it all jacked up. So I'm going to try again and put it on the end of this one. Sorry about that, Dave. I didn't even know it until Lori Shoemaker mentioned it in the comments. And that was last night when I was looking at the comments. I was like, what? And then I went and looked at it, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then I screwed up on the Thanksgiving thing with you and Kathy. I was thinking it was a Saturday night special. And because I had brain fog, you know, from this frickin' head cold / pneumonia. And And
Yeah, me and Kathy normally only do Saturday night specials unless it's a Christmas or
yeah,
something
I saw
special,
I
but
saw
we
you
do
had that Fakawi Indian headdress on.
yeah. Somebody made the comment that about my Indian outfit, called me all kind of nicknames. Somebody said, "Yeah, that vest would be nice to auction off as a donation to the." So, but it would be, but that's not going to happen. I'm kind of
That's Leon's vest.
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Leon gave me that vest. I couldn't in good conscience sell that or anything. Leon gave that to me. That'll
Yeah, and
passed on down the.
and then I got a little present. I mean, I was at Thanksgiving. I had to spend a little downtime, and then I got this in the mail from Robert Wheatley. Appreciate that, Robert Wheatley. So
camera.
Craig and I both have one of these, and so does Kathy, I believe, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She sure does. Yeah, she's
Yeah. So look what me and Craig have. Nah.
And we have another one too right here that we're auctioning off.
Yeah.
This one here. We're auctioning that off for the
which is the same one as this. So you guys need to check out Robert Wheatley. If anybody needs a cell phone, a drone, some kind of a camera, any electronic you can think of, email Craig, and he'll hook you up with old Robert Wheatley. And we like to thank him for all that he does for us on the podcast. And we get a lot of cool stuff. Like, look at here, I got this in the mail the other day, Craig. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Do you get one of these?
Oh no, I didn't get one of those. I don't.
Yeah,
Alexander
Alexander Natali sent that to me. Appreciate that, Alexander, and that's a cool little bumper sticker. So we get kind of neat stuff like that all the time.
Oh, I get all kind of stuff all the time. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but we got a lot of great fans, and the only podcast where the subscribers go down instead of up. And it's because we talk about things that YouTube doesn't like, and then they unsubscribe our subscribers for us. And I was noticing that the Griff Martin Files is starting to catch the Stone Roadie show, which I don't even do anything on the Griff Martin Files hardly, which leads me to mention that you guys were wanting to know about merchandise, stuff that I have for sale. And if you go look on the Griff Martin Files, I did a merchandise video. It's the last video that I put up on the Griff Martin Files, and it shows everything I have in detail and the prices. So go look at the merchandise video on the YouTube channel, the Griff Martin Files, and then just follow the instructions on there if you want anything off of that. That kind of helps out me, and it helps out Gene Odom.
And talking about helping out Gene Odom, we got a donation for Gene here.
Oh, cool.
Lynn Jacobs Cumby.
Oh yeah, I know her.
Yeah, she sent $40 for Gene. And if you're watching, Lynn, you asked me for a little favor, and I'll take care of that for you. I have something she wants to. She doesn't want an original of it. She just wants me to put it on a copy machine and make a copy and sign it. So I'll do that for you. She sent me a couple of Trump shot glasses, and she's pretty cool. And she told me that she's not fat. She's 5'8" and 130 pounds. So yeah, she's not fat.
Oh, great. Craig, did you ever figure out all the names of the winners that you're gonna Do you need them to email you?
I have been getting messages from people that won that have been reminding me of their number and stuff. But yeah, anybody that didn't see that podcast, yeah, if you're aware, there's 15 of you out there. So yeah, I'm kind of running behind here. So I only got 3 weeks to get all this stuff out.
Yeah, you guys send.
I'm not
send
gonna break
me.
my promise. I'm gonna have this stuff out to you by Christmas. So
Yeah.
if you're a winner, just shoot me your address and make sure I have it, so it doesn't slow me down and give me any more excuses.
Yeah, you guys send me an email too in case anything happens to Craig if he gets sidelined or whatever. Because Rock On says he wants to know, Craig, will you put the prize winners in your will? I kind of embellished that a little bit, but yeah. So you guys to edwg59@gmail.com, send me an email so I can kind of keep track of it too.
Oh yeah, let me.
Two
Yeah,
of us are better than one.
you people that are bidding on the camera, Griff bid. Somebody bid 175 on the Osmos 3 camera here, and then Griff said, "Well, hell, I'll bid 200 on it," But now that he's got one,
Now that I've got one, yeah, I'm going to retract my bid now.
yeah. So now that he's got one, I guess we're up taking bids again. But yeah, that, like I said, somebody said that's a $670 camera, which with tax it'd be 700 and some. So yeah, we'd like to get a little more than $175 out of this one. That's what we got for the last one, and we kind of just let it roll. But that was the Osmos 2.
Yeah, that's a cheaper
This
one.
is a better package. That was a $400 package. This is like a $700 package. So yeah, it's a donation. So we'd like to at least get half price for it.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get at least that, I'd say. Yeah.
So, hell, if we don't get that, I'll buy it and give it away for a Christmas present myself. He's giving.
Yeah,
me
that's what I'm
something.
saying. I mean, if it's too cheap, then heck, you could probably take that and even sell it on eBay or
It's
something.
a cool camera, man. It
I
really
mean,
is.
you're gonna.
I haven't had a chance to use it much, but it's a cool camera. I really like it.
You got anything else you want to talk about, Craig, before we jump into some comments here?
No, I think I got
Did
this
you,
sheet here. Chris Eldridge, I think I mentioned him on the last podcast. Matter of fact, the last podcast me and Kathy did, I said it was podcast 253. Actually, that was 252. This is 253. But Chris, he donated another $50. I think I mentioned that last week. But he's donated $50 like
Yeah,
7 times or something like that. Every couple of weeks he sends in a $50. But yeah,
And there's a lot of people they've seen my merch video and they say, man, I'm trying to save up, blah, blah, blah. If you guys can't afford anything, don't do it. It's hard times right now. If you can't do it, don't do it. But if you can, we appreciate it. But if you can't, don't stretch yourself out, especially during Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So, some people are devoted to like Chris sending in, he's pretty active with the donations, and we appreciate that. Anybody that can, even $10, is great. But did you have a good Thanksgiving, Craig, with your sister?
I did. Yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, I had a lot of mostly just her my nieces and nephews, her children, and then her children's children, and then their children's children.
Oh shit!
So there was I think there was one of her daughters missing, and one of her granddaughters, and a couple of grandkids or something. But most of them were there. There was like 19 people there or something. Yeah.
Do they watch the Stone Roadie show?
No, no.
They probably don't even know about it.
No. Well, yeah, a couple of them do, but they don't watch them all. I don't think. Yeah.
I've been leaving these little wooden nickels around everywhere that I go that Brian Bodkin gave me. You know, I kind of like if I go to the supermarket, I'll stick one over by the cash register, or if I go in the bathroom somewhere, I'll put it on the urinal, and so I spread these coins. But yeah, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed, you know, it helps out the plane crash survivors with our monetization. So if you take the time and do that, we appreciate it because, like I said, our subscriptions are starting to slip due to the fact that, well, you know, of course, our content is a little is not what YouTube likes, and some people don't like to watch just for the simple fact that Craig likes to talk about fat folks and cigarette
smokers too. So if you're fat and you like to smoke, I might poke a little fun at you.
Yeah. So, but we, you know, we're just being who we are. So, you know, that's if.
But you know, it seems like I'm kind of ahead of the game because it's like seems like a lot of people are becoming conscious of what they're eating, and they're becoming aware that a lot of their stuff that they're eating is actually not really very good for them, you know, and they're kind of finally waking up, you know. So, you know, good for you, the ones that are of you that are, yeah, it's kind of funny to me that people just say that they just can't lose weight. They just can't do it. They just can't lose weight, and they don't know why they can't lose weight. They just can't lose weight. It's because you eat too damn much. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's you know, I didn't exercise. I didn't really do anything. I just quit. I quit eating. I guess a lot of people can't do that, but.
Well, my way to keep my weight down is I like to exercise, and since I've had that funk here lately, I was looking in the mirror the other day, and I'm starting to get a New Jersey mangina, like Gene talked about. Ronnie had a New Jersey vagina. He said, "Yeah, Ronnie started getting fat right there." In 77, I told him he looked like he had a New Jersey vagina, and. And so I was looking in the mirror the other day. I'm like, man, I need to start backing off. I'm up about 8 pounds, and so I need to get on the Craig Reed fat program.
You know, rumor has it that they're putting a lot of stuff in your food to make you fat, so that they can feed you with prescription medication that's fake and doesn't work, and it's just like. It's just like 80% of people are obese, and it's just like it just seems like everybody just fell for this stuff. You know, I don't know. I can't figure out how to lose weight. God, man, I got brain damage. I figured it out. My God, it's just like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and then they want you to die before you collect your Social Security. So don't let
that's
them
the whole
you
thing.
off,
Yeah.
man.
Everybody's just a bunch of slaves. Everybody's paying way too much tax, and you know, it's just like you were born. Who made the rule that when you're born you have to pay tax to live? You know, I mean,
the people that run the
died
world
and made you God? There's like 100 people that make these rules, and all of us are supposed to be like sheep and just follow their rules and, you know, eat the shit that they feed us.
But I tell you
what to do. It's bullshit, man.
Old Trump is stirring it up, man. Trump is already, man. He's like, you know, I hope he makes it sworn into office, you know, because I'm still waiting on some kind of a hiccup, man. It's just going too easy. But yeah, that RFK, you know, he's on the same.
That one cash guy. He says that on day one he's going to close the FBI down. He's going to shut the doors.
Yeah, they need to
start over. That's what needs to happen. It just needs to shut it all down and start over. That's
all that
clear it out.
Woke crap.
All this bullshit, man. It's just like all of them, Pelosi and Schumer and all them. I mean, it's just. I watched that Schumer up in Congress last time he was up there, and he was trying to get it passed to let these illegals in, and they're still pushing this jab stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they're still pushing it. Go get your jab. Go get your jab. My God, they've already said it. There's warning labels on it. Said
Yeah, they've already proven
stuff, and I mean, it's just like, but you sheep will do it, man. You know, you just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I can't believe you people are just like sheep, man.
it's a mess out there, man. It's a mess.
Well, it's 80% of them. I mean, it's just look at them. It's just like they're all indoctrinated. I mean, it's just like, you know, they were told one thing. They've been told lies their whole damn life, like me, and like all of us. And it's hard to grasp onto the concept that we've been lied to our whole lives, and nothing we've been told is real.
And I know a lot of people, like, I was in Lowe's yesterday, and I was walking down the aisle, and this husband and wife were blocking. They were both huge, and they were walking side by side, and they were waddling down the aisle. And the first thing that popped in my mind was Craig. So I know everybody out there is doing the same thing. You know, when you see something like that, you're thinking about, damn, now I know what Craig's talking about. And I was in a hurry, and I couldn't get around them, and they didn't even care. They were just like oblivious that I was back there. Finally, I said, hey, let me through here. I got something to get, and then they're, oh, whoa, we didn't see you, and blah, 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 and it's like, get the hell out of the way,
Oh, yeah, I get all kind of stuff on Facebook that people send me that things post insinuating fatness, and they tag me in it. Hey, look here, Craig.
Yeah. And like I said, that's how I met Craig, old Joe Crimp. He mentioned it to me when that fat girl was out there dancing to his band. But anyway, we need to.
I got my Dale Earnhardt driving fire suit on here. I actually drove the Dale Earnhardt Budweiser car, one of them down there at the Kentucky Speedway. Me and John Neal went down there, and we drove faster than anybody did all day. We put it up on the limiter. I put it up there a bunch of times, and so did John. But to be fair, we got a lot more laps than anybody else did, so we had a better chance to do it. It took me about 5 laps to get up on the limiter, and a lot of people didn't even buy that many laps. Me and John got like.
Well, you got a skull leather racing suit too.
Yeah, I got a skull suit, and I got this one too. And actually, a matter of fact, John Neal bought me this one, sent me this one for Christmas one year. But I'm wearing it because it's cold in this house, and I've been racing on my driving simulator, and I gotta get when I do, I'm doing my flight simulator or my driving simulator or whatever, I gotta put the proper clothes on.
Right, yeah, you always had to
get immersed in the whole situation.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures of Craig when he was like 3 years old, and he's got 3 or 4 different he's got his cowboy outfit with his pistols and. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's always.
Oh God. Yeah. I can still remember tying a towel around my neck when I was 3 years old.
Oh, I did that. Yeah.
Like Superman.
Yeah, we all did that with the safety pin.
Yeah. I got all kind of outfits though. I got an outfit for everything, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you're how old are you now? 74, Craig? A 74-year-old
I'll be 74
kid.
in February. Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yeah? That's right. Groundhog's Day. All right, let's jump into these questions and comments. So we got that video at the end if I don't screw that up again. So we're going to jump into these comments. And it's been a while since that podcast and Craig and I did when it was last week. So I hope I hadn't forgotten half of what these people are asking about and talking about.
Yeah, I was all ready to do it. Sent you a link and stuff. You went, oh yeah, I'm in the hospital with my sister.
Well, no, I wasn't in the hospital. I was waiting to hear from the hospital, but yeah, I was in the middle of the funk too, and I was in such bad shape I wouldn't have been able to. I was losing my voice and everything, but starting to slowly come back now. I appreciate all the well wishes. And my sister's got AFib, just like Jean. So, her heart flips out and she don't ever know when it's going to do it. She's trying to get it regulated and everything. But, it's kind of scary when your heart's skipping around and crap like that. But anyway, let's get on to these comments here and burning daylight. Homer Hancock asks, how did the 1978 Best of the Rest come about? Was it suggested by Judy that they get 6 songs from Jimmy Johnson before Al Cooper signed them? Was it Alan and Gary that legally signed to use them? And by the way, I'm a fat fuck that smokes, but it doesn't offend me that Craig makes fun of it. So you know how that came about, Craig, the Best of the Rest?
Well, I guess they were just looking for more material to put out, and just seeing what they had in the archive and just said, well, here we got this. Yeah, because they didn't have anything else coming up, so they just put out what they already had. I know they were looking for Cottonmouth Country for a while.
Yeah.
And nobody could remember the words to it. I don't know if they ever did actually come out with that song. Somebody said they did. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Brian, he sent me all those songs that they recorded there at Muscle Shoals, and, they're different. The ones that they redid, you can hear the difference in them. And I guess those are the ones that the tape was flipped around on. And but, yeah, quite interesting. The Best of the Rest.
Well, that was before Ed went in and put his parts on them too, wasn't it? Didn't Ed go into Muscle Shoals and put down his parts on stuff?
I think the ones that I have, Ed's parts are on those. Well, I have to. Yeah, I did. There's.
Yeah, the original stuff, Ed wasn't on it, and then Ed had to go in and put his parts down on that stuff, right?
Yeah, and then I'm waiting on Brian's going to send me some video that he took from the Freebird Cafe, which I saw a picture of you at the Freebird Cafe with Randall Hall and Gary, and who else was in that picture?
I've never been to the Freebird Cafe.
What was that? What was that thing you posted, that picture?
I don't know where that was, but I've never been to the Freebird Cafe.
Somebody said it was at the Freebird Cafe.
Oh,
I thought
if it was, I don't remember being there.
Oh yeah.
I don't ever remember being at the Freebird Cafe.
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah, so I'd never seen
that.
That
was during Rossington Collins because Sally Arnold was in there.
Yeah. So you don't know where that picture was taken?
No.
You don't even remember it?
Don't remember it at all. No.
Damn, that must have been.
No, I tell you, I got brain damage. I don't remember a lot of shit.
Well, you were smoking some cannabinol or something.
Well, I was probably smoking something.
Well, hell, you've been so many places. I couldn't remember everywhere that you've been either. I mean, that's a lot of places. So I'm
just lucky I never heard of Thorazine until now.
Yeah. We should have never brought it up because you're going to probably try to find some. You don't want to get on any of that stuff.
I'm past those days.
Then we got Carol the Cake Girl. She's a little pissed off. She says, I have to say, I'm getting tired of hearing about body parts and molds and getting really sick of hearing about vaginas and penises. It's all nasty. We've got that disclaimer, and I'm going to go ahead and play that right now. That disclaimer, that one that we have, Craig? And,
yeah.
If your feelings get hurt real easy, you better not watch a
show.
I remember there's this guy that I used to work with, and he was in the crew with us. He had a head like Billy Powell. You know, he had a hog head like Billy Powell. And,
A hog head.
yeah, there was this guy named Hank Youngblood. He was kind of like a smart ass guy, you know. And he says, "Hey, Hoghead, hand me that wrench." And then finally, old Hoghead got tired. He goes, "Man, I'm getting sick of you calling me Hoghead." So old Hank goes, "Hoghead, Hoghead, Hoghead, Hoghead," like that. So penis, 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 vagina, vagina, vagina. There you go, Carol the Cake Girl. If you're watching the Stone Roadie show, you can't have a thin skin. That's all there is to it. But we still love you. But we're still going to talk about vaginas and penises and molds and all that we can. And Ronnie 5129 asks, Craig, he says, when you were drinking with Bon Scott, and how many people can say they drank with Bon Scott? You know, that's like right there in itself. He goes, did you get the impression this guy was not going to be around much longer?
Oh, he was no worse than I was.
Really? Well, he said on one of the previous podcasts that he was watching, he said he was already drunk whenever you got in there. Just drinking with him. He was already drunk.
Well, yeah, well, so was I, probably.
What were you guys drinking? Whiskey?
Yeah, some kind of, I like bourbon, so I imagine I was drinking some kind of, whatever bourbon. You know, they have the same kind of bourbon we have here, mostly.
Did he already?
I used to always like to drink, you know, when I'm over there, I like to drink stuff that we don't have here, you know.
Oh, yeah. Did he already have his belt buckle?
That was during Journey, so yeah.
Was he wearing it? That you probably don't remember.
No,
if he was
I don't
wearing
remember
it. Yeah.
that.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool, you know. I mean, here's Craig, you know, he met three of the Beatles, right? Three of the Beatles, drank with Bon Scott. I mean, look at all the cool stuff
John,
you got
Paul,
to do.
and Ringo, yeah.
Yeah, and then drank with Bon Scott, traveled the whole world with, I mean, that's, you know, you guys, if you got any questions for the Stone Roadie, you know, he'll try to remember as much as he can, but
I'll
take
try.
advantage of it, you know. If you're watching the podcast, you know, Craig, he's been around some stuff. Oh, Scooter Weed's asking about that truck, you know, Gene, he had that problem with his truck.
That's a Dodge, ain't it?
No, it's a Chevy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it was just he just pulled out a fuse in there, you know, and that's what fixed the problem. No, it's not a 4-wheel drive, Scooter Weed. It's a 2-wheel drive, and he's got it back on the road, and that was one of our listeners that helped him with it, so we appreciate them. Yeah, and then he says he's asking about I guess the time when Gary and Gene gotten in some kind of an argument. He says Gary had a problem with Gene over the fight they had over Gene's book. Gary wanted Judy to have no part of the band, and good old Gene took up for her, and Gary told Gene to take a walk. Well, from what I understand, they were only supposed to do 10 shows in the tribute tour, and they were on that tour, and then they were going to continue to keep going, and Gene and I guess Judy found out about it, and then and Gary said, no, we're going to keep going, and that's when they got in a big pissing match, and then in the hotel room, Gary told Gene to get the hell out of Dodge. He kicked him off the tour because they got a big fight. And I guess that was the last time that they talked at somebody's funeral. Forget whose funeral it was, but they have spoken. They had spoken since then, but they never like really made up or anything. So
everybody knows that was a Bill Graham thing. The tribute, tribute reunion. That was a Bill Graham project, really.
And they're still going
with Clayton Johnson.
Yeah,
that was a Bill Graham thing.
Yeah. So Gene, he's got so many stories and things. It's hard to keep. I can't keep track of all of them, but they're all. I think we've got them all recorded. A lot of them on the podcast. So if you go back and look at the podcast that we did with Gene Odom, he tells a lot of that stuff. Shoot, man, we're up to, what is it, Craig? 253 podcasts. That's a lot.
253. I can't believe it.
That's a lot of skin information, man.
Blows me away. I could have never done 253 of these things by myself. That's for damn sure.
Well,
I couldn't have done 10 of them by myself.
Yeah, but if it weren't for you, it wouldn't have all this skin formation breaking loose. And
if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing these, because you're the one that said, "Man, let me just interview you," because that other guy fell through. You said, "I got a camera and a microphone. Let me just interview you." People are always asking me questions to ask you. I go, "Yeah, all right, well, we'll do that."
Yeah, then
I thought we'd do maybe a dozen. I
had started getting donations, and then then it just kind of kept going.
Well, that kind of seemed like it started right off the bat. People, after we did about 5 of them, people would go, "God, you guys are going to be millionaires. What are you going to do with the money?" We both said, "Well, I guess we'll just donate it to the survivors." Yeah, I mean, from then on, it just started out, we just started getting donations sent to us, and we just collected the money. But, it just kind of just sprouted its own wings.
Yeah, and they, they have really benefited from all the subscribers sending money in, donations in, and things, and so
we've sent them. We sent them like 6,000 each the year before this last year, and now we'll send them. Everybody will get at least $2,000 each this time, I think.
Yeah, and if somehow there's somebody out there that's got millions that they don't know what to do with, man, it's a good cause. Those guys could use it. They're all. There's 5 of them that that are struggling pretty bad, and Gene's going through a lot of crap right now himself.
We've already gave Gene 2,000.
Yeah, and I think
we gave Mark Frank 2,000, and those 2.
Leslie gave Leslie some money.
Gave Leslie 1,000. We gave everybody 1,000, and
you sent Paul some money too, didn't you?
Oh, we gave everybody $1,000 this time, but we gave Gene and Mark Frank 2,000 so far this time.
Yeah. So we appreciate all the contributions, and those guys sure appreciate it too. So then I was talking about I forget what it was. I was in my sister's car, and we were talking about Alan Collins told Chad, Craig's son, Ronnie used to bite the hell out of you if he was in a fight and he felt like he was losing. He'd just take a chunk out of your ear or whatever. And then Alan told Chad, man, just hit him and run. And then I was telling a story about how I was in my sister's Gran Torino, and I thought it was a 77 or 78, and and then triple R, triple T. There is no such thing as a 77, 78 Torino. Well, it was my sister's Torino, so I don't know what year it was. Heck, I think it might have been a 75 now that I think about it, but I'm not sure. All I know is it saved my life, because I got on some back roads, and they had some little piece of shit 4-cylinder, and I just blew them away in that Torino, man. I just left them in the dust. So I don't know what year it was, but it was fast. I remember that. Let me see. Alan Titus. I was at Alpine Valley at the tribute tour in '87 when they were doing Freebird, and a bird was flying around the stage and all around the guys in the band. Do you remember that, Craig? I feel like I saw a video of that. Yeah, it was during Freebird.
Not really.
At Alpine Valley in '87. That's kind of freaky, you know. I swear I saw a video of that, and it was flying around, and the guys were kind of like in the band. They were looking at it, you know, and they were like freaking out over it. Yeah, that's right back into the comments and go over that a little more there, Alan. I want to hear some more about that. It was pretty cool.
I noticed we had a dang lot of comments this time. I just
there
briefly looked at them. There was a bunch of them.
Yeah, there was
Emmy
a lot
was all pissed off about something.
Yeah,
she kept saying some shit.
I looked and there was like 100 comments, and then I looked again and there was like 160 something, and like 60 of them were Kimmy. Yeah, but we love our Kimmy, man.
She was raising hell.
She even mentioned, she says, please hit the like and subscribe, she said. She looks out for us, you know. She looks out for us. Good old crazy Kimmy. Michelle Lovett talks about the FEMA has failed the folks in North Carolina. Survivors are now living in tents while immigrants are living in hotels. Yeah, and it's cold there right now, and there's people. They kicked them all out. Their FEMA vouchers have expired, and now they're out living in tents and travel trailers and anything they can, churches or wherever anybody will take them in. It's horrible.
There's 800 living in tents, and there's estimated to be 2,000 living in tents here by next week because they throwed everybody out of those hotels.
Yeah,
and there's one woman said that she knows of 2,000 body bags.
And I'm hearing that on YouTube also.
And that there's lots of thousands of people that are, dead.
And there's people coming from all over the United States with heavy equipment, and they're helping them. They're coming out, they're digging out their cars, and
they won't let anybody. They're not allowed to have RVs. They're not allowed to have those tiny. Somebody was trying to give them those tiny homes. They won't allow.
The Amish came down there and were building them tiny houses, and they kicked them out.
It's the same thing that's going on in Hawaii. They went over there and did what they did over there, and now they're not allowed to build. Nobody's allowed to rebuild. They gave them $700 and said, "See you later, alligator." And they're trying to do the same thing down there in North Carolina. Somebody needs to pay. A bunch of people need to pay for this.
Why can't the military come in there and set up,
the military's all, they're all corrupt. They're all, the whole damn system's all corrupt. And it has been for many, many, many years. Everything's been all corrupt. It's just like, I don't know what's going on with, there's supposed to be a whole nother world in the middle. There's supposed to be aliens living in the center of under us. They're having wars. I mean,
oh really? I haven't heard that one
yet. They sent somebody down in a hole with a. Yeah, there's some freaky shit going on down there.
Did you hear that they're trying to? There's people that want Alex Jones to be this press secretary. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah, they're like, Yeah, let's get Alex Jones in there for the press secretary and let those liberals' heads explode.
But they're saying they're saying more and more about these tunnels that the rich and famous are using under Hollywood that nobody knows about. That's some crazy shit, man. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah. There's
but it
Starbucks
can't
and
be.
everything under there.
It can't be in. It can't be in pristine condition under down there. It's got to be all dilapidated. I can't imagine.
No, I heard it's nice. Yeah, I
I
heard they
can't
even have like
imagine that happening and nobody. It's just that's mind-boggling.
yeah, they have
But
their
there's a
own
lot
travel
of
network.
caves. There's a lot of caves in places that people don't know about. There's supposed to be caves all across under the United States, all rails.
Oh, well, that's
There's
a
supposed to be
fact.
all kind of shit that we don't know about.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. That there's a network of roads and tunnels and things that they travel.
I can see it happening from these military bases, like from Area 51 or whatever down to wherever. I can see their tunnels being, from place to place. But man, the way they're talking, it's crazy.
Well, Disney World has tunnels underneath it.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've
they
heard.
got the idea from somewhere, you know. And that Lockheed plant that I worked in Marietta, Georgia, when I worked for Lockheed, they have a whole underground underneath that. It was a bomber plant back in the day, so it's very easily done. They've got the ability to do it, and I guarantee you, I heard there's high-speed trains even.
I wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Remember, Wesley Garrett was talking about coming up to Tennessee, and he said, "Bring your Banshee."
Oh
He
yeah,
said-
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he says they've got really nice cabins there to stay in, and you can rent four-wheel drives and things like that. And he said he'll be our guide and everything. He said, there's like really cool mountains and trails, and he said there's herds of elk. I didn't know that there were elk in Tennessee, but
Oh, I didn't either.
yeah, there's old coal mines there, and yeah, that sounds pretty cool there, Wesley. I might have to take you up on that, man, when it warms up.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
like
take a trip down to Virginia and see six gunning them out. That's Tennessee
yeah,
right on the way.
right. Yeah, we'll have to send Craig your in my Craig and me your contact information there, Wesley, and we'll stay in touch and do something like that. That
Maybe I'll
sounds fun.
trailer my Banshee down there.
Yeah, I think that would be fun, and get that on video, doing on the road. That would be
Yeah.
cool. Let me see what we got. Somebody else here. Oh, Patriot says that he has to disagree with you, Craig, on that Phase 90. They used it more than you think they did. On the old gray whistle test, Alan and Gary used it on Every Mother's Son, Sweet Home Alabama, and he said later on they used it on That Smell too. It's
Well,
not that hard to hear.
live, Gary only used it live on Breeze.
Oh, so you're saying live,
Yeah.
not on the. So they did.
I don't
use
know what they.
recording?
Yeah, I don't know what they did in the studio, but live, he
Oh,
only used
okay.
it on.
Well, that
Mr.
makes a
Breeze.
difference. Well, there's your answer there, Patriot. Yeah, and you got to be careful because these our listeners, man, they go
Yeah,
and check that shit out,
And
man.
what they did in the studio, I can't,
Right? Yeah.
say I know everything they did in the studio, but live, it was just Gary used it on the first part of Mr. Breeze.
I wonder how they came up with what they were going to use in the studio. Do you think?
Probably the producer. That's a producer's job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I think it'd sound good if we used it on this song right here in this part or whatever.
Yeah.
That whole recording thing, that's amazing. If no one's ever sat in on somebody doing some mixing and recording, I never got to do it. until I went down there and heard Six Gun when they recorded in that studio with Derek Hess and Barry Lee. And man, that was to sit there and watch Barry Lee recording licks. Like, he did a take and he goes, nah, let's try that again, and then and I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, wow, that's, and I've got the headphones on and I can hear what he's doing and how they dub it in and all that kind of stuff. Really amazing.
I got many, 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 many hours of recording studio
I bet you do, man. Then we got David Hester says, Griff, count back the last 3 days and think about what you were doing on that day. He's talking about where I caught this funk. Oh, I think I might have caught the head cold from my buddy Jay, but I don't know where I got the chest thing. All I know is that the neighbor across the street, he was hacking up a lung, man, there for like about a week. And I was thinking to myself, man, I'm glad I don't have that. And then the next thing you know, here it jumps on me. So I don't know if he was coughing so hard and the wind picked it up when I was outside and it jumped on me or whatever. He goes, like the old Brothers Johnson song, get the funk out of my face. You better get the funk out of my face. Yeah, and Larry Tate, Dave the Disciple, he was commenting on the video. Poor Dave, I messed up that video at the end, and he's probably thinking, what the hell is going on, man? It's just an audio, and, he's like thinking, what did he butchered up my video? Well, I've fixed it for you there, Dave, and put it on the end here. So you guys stick around for the end of the podcast. We got Mark Frank, and he goes to the monument, and he talks a little bit about the plane crash, and he's at the hospital, and it's a video, and you'll get to see it. I have trouble editing other people's videos because I don't really know, what's going on. So when I see somebody else's video, sometimes I get discombobulated, and that's what happened with me there, Larry. But I'm going to fix it this time, buddy. So thanks for sending it to me. Sorry it took so long to get it on there, but it was back from April of 2024 when he sent it to me. And he sent it to me in this little jump drive right here. And glad I found it so I could put it on there because he mentioned it in the comments on one of the last podcasts. John says, Griff, take that Martin, that 67 Martin, and get somebody to fix it. Yeah, it needs a neck reset on it, and I'm scared to death to let anybody mess with it, and I'm sure it's going to cost a fortune, and I'm just, wondering if I'll just sell it the way it is and let somebody else reset it, You only get one chance to reset the neck on those old acoustics, and if you mess it up, you're done, man. Yes, you got to have somebody really good that does that, and it's an art, like anything else. Like if you take to get your seat recovered, and they either they do a good job or they butcher it. But when you're talking about an old musical instrument like that, like if you were to take it to Gruen's, they would do a good job, but they're going to charge you a fortune.
Yeah, but you're going to double your money if you take it to them. That's a guitar. That's an investment, and you spend whatever it costs you at Gruen's to get that thing fixed. You'll double your money. It'd be well worth
because
it.
You've got
in the end, in my opinion. I was thinking about that the other day. I was going, if I played guitar and I had that guitar, that'd be that would be the ultimate to play that thing. Those Martins.
Yeah, because people like to record with those old.
Oh man,
guitars.
yeah, that would be the.
I might give them a call, send them some pictures, and get a price on it. But they're so backlogged on that kind of stuff too. It might take.
I'll tell them who you. I'll call them. I'll get it done.
Oh, you know who? You know. Yeah, man. They might go. Oh, that Craig.
I'll call him. I'll say it's. I'll call him. I'll say it's mine. I'll say, man, I got this guitar I want to get fixed.
Do you know Gruen? You know that guy? that owns it? Yeah,
I don't know. I might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you ever have any dealings with him?
I don't remember. I might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He might know who I
Well,
am.
they sell vintage guitars because I
I'm
remember.
sure I'm sure I've dealt with them before in some way, shape, or form. The Skynyrd guys have.
Yeah.
You know, I might have been in there. I don't know. I don't remember. I've met so many freaking people. I can't remember everybody, but yeah, I'll do it. I'll tell me exactly what it is, and I'll call them, tell them it's mine. See what it is.
I'll have to take some detailed pictures.
Send them pictures. Yeah, send me the pictures. I'll send it.
It's got the old rosewood.
I'm sure they'd give me a better deal than they would you, just because I'm the Stone Roadie, the old Skynyrd guitar.
Unless the luthier's wife's fat, and then he might go, oh, that's that guy. Fat. Charge him double.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, that's something I need to work on before I kick the bucket. Is get that.
Man, I would. That
way somebody else can enjoy it. The fruits of my labor. When I die.
That's a nice guitar, man.
Man, it is a nice. I'm scared to death to take it out of the. And
you double your money. Getting it fixed, you'll double your money.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
and I would like to play it and hear it, because
that's the thing. If somebody buys it, they're going to want to hear it. That thing, it's got a tone of its own, I'm sure.
Yeah, like that old hummingbird that I have, man. That thing just rings, It's just got that great tone to it. But yeah, that's something I definitely need to do. Let me see. Oh, Kimmy says, Craig, you are making me want to start smoking weed. You don't already smoke weed, Kimmy? She also mentioned something in here about, she's going to
I can't believe Kimmy don't smoke weed. Hell, everybody smokes weed.
Yeah, she says she's going to still send that wet T-shirt picture. And we'll be sure to show Carol the cake girl that picture so she can. Yeah. Carol, stand by for that picture when Kimmy sends it to us. We want to share that with you. We want to make sure you're watching that day. Carolyn asks, Craig, any background on Alan's mom and sister?
I never really knew Alan's mom. I knew Dave Larkin very well, but Alan's mom I only probably saw or met briefly once, and Betty, Chad knows Betty, but because he stays in touch with Allison, but I may have met Betty once. I don't know. I'm not real familiar with them.
I think
all I know is that Betty kind of raised Alan. Was like Alan's mother, or she was a little older than Alan. She more or less raised Alan, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think
Alan's mother worked, I guess.
Yeah, she worked at a cigar plant somewhere in Jacksonville, making cigars, is from what I understand. Anybody out there knows any more about that, let us know. I'm sure I could find out more from Chad. He knows all about that. Then she wants to know, why did you choose the name Leon for your dog?
Oh, God.
And what did Leon think about? Well, Leon was dead when you named your dog.
Well, yeah, I was laying in bed, and I was married at the time, and my wife answered the phone, and I don't know what I was in bed. I was sick, or I'm not really sure what was wrong with me, but I was in bed. I don't remember.
You were probably stoned.
She came in, and I said, "Who was on the phone?" And she said, "Oh, it was the dog breeder." Oh, that's why I was in bed. I had found out that Leon had died. I was here at home, and I got the word that Leon had died, and that's why I was in bed. I was
yeah.
just like really depressed, and yeah, I was at home and got the word that Leon had died, and I was in bed and I was really depressed, and the phone rang, and I said, "Who was that?" And she said, "Oh, that was the people had that ordered that dog off of that we were talking about." And I said, "Well, what did you tell them?" And she said, "Well, I told them this probably wasn't a good idea or a good time." I goes, "No, no, no. Call them back and tell them we'll be down and get the dog." So we went, and I said, and I've already got a name for the dog because we didn't know. We were trying to think of what we were going to name the dog when we got it, and then Leon died. So then we got the call that the dog was ready. So I said, "Yeah, go ahead and call him." And I said, "I know what I'm going to name the dog now." So that's what we named him, Leon.
But that was Leon 1.
That was
the
Leon
first
1, yeah. So then when Leon 1 died, I had to replace Leon, so I got the close as I could to replacing him off the same breeder.
Now, is Leon, it was Leon that got kidnapped by the ex-wife, not Wicker,
Leon,
right?
Yeah, Leon 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, got kidnapped by her, and then I didn't think I was going to get him back, so then I went to the same breeder and got another one, a Pouchon, and so I named him Leon 3.
Oh, yeah, so you had to change
and then I got Leon 2 back. So then I had 2 Leons, so then I couldn't have 2
Right,
Leons.
yeah.
So then I renamed Wicker Leon Wicker. Leon 3, I renamed him Wicker.
which people don't know. Wicker is Ronnie Van Zant's nickname
Yeah.
because there was a guy that they went to school with that he was a silly boy. He was kind of a sissy boy named Van Wicker, and everybody used to say Van Zant, Van Wicker.
Yeah, you act like that Van Wicker character
Yeah.
or something to that effect. And
Yeah, that was a big secret on all these tribute
I don't know if
sites.
it was a big secret, but nobody really knew that they called him Wicker or why.
Yeah.
When I first got with the band, I heard him referred to by Bob or somebody as, "Hey, Wicker," and I didn't know what it was all about, and so I just started calling him Wicker, and he just kind of looked at me like real funny and just never said anything, and I never knew where it came from for forever. I didn't back in the day when I called him Wicker. I didn't know about Van Wicker, and I think it was maybe Gene or somebody I said, "Where did Wicker come from?" I don't remember where I finally found out, but
Did a lot of people call him Wicker or just
no, nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, just who was
No,
it that
just-
called him that?
Just Bob. I think I heard somebody in the band. I heard to him refer to Ronnie as Wicker. So I didn't know what it meant. So I just said, "Hey, Wicker." He just looked at me funny, and I never knew what it meant or nothing. And I didn't, I just,
After you found out what it meant, did you go,
well,
"Oh,
he
hey,
was
I
already
know what-"
dead.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I never knew.
Oh, shit.
Never knew why when he was alive. I never knew about Van Wicker.
Oh, okay.
It was after he died. Yeah, it was just a few years ago I found out about Van Wicker. I had to have been Gene.
Yeah, Gene, he's definitely the one. Which reminds me, I'm supposed to go fishing with Gene tonight. I'll let you guys know on the next podcast whether that or not that happened. And it's going to be, we'll probably go out on the lake during the day when it's still light, and I'll try to get some video of that. And then I'm going to bring some kind of a light with me and see if I can't get Gene jigger fishing. I'm just gonna video. My whole project for this is to videotape Gene doing it. I don't really want to do it. I just want to.
Ronnie taught me how to jigger fish. You just take a cane pole and put a piece of line, a short piece of line on the end of a cane pole, and put a little
long worm,
hula popper,
9-inch worm or something on there.
No, a hula popper.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You use a hula popper type thing with like a hula skirt dancer type of hula popper or whatever they.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that kind of hula popper. That's what Ronnie told me to use.
Well, hopefully, I'll take a damn flashlight with me and a light, and hopefully we'll get some video. It'd be nice to do it on a full moon, but it's Gene's birthday, and he wants to go on his birthday. He's under the impression like he's afraid it might be his last time he's going to go fishing, So he's, Griff, I want you to take me out there. I want to go jigger fishing. I said, all right, man, get your shit and come on, and we're going to go. So we'll let you know if it happens on the next podcast or not, but I'm going to work it.
Yeah, you just drop that thing down onto a lily pad and then just let it sit there and then just kind of wiggle it, get the lily pad wiggling, and then just pull it off the side,
Yeah, and we're going to be out there in the Bad Company 2. So
you try to think like a fish, like the fish is going, what's up on top of that lily pad there? And then
I can't wait to see.
And comes up and gets it,
Because
when they hit that thing with a bass on the end of it, man, with on that cane pole, you got to.
There's some damn big bass in these chain of lakes around here, man. There's some big ones out there. They're just smart because there's a lot of people fishing, and there ain't nobody going around jigger fishing. So maybe this is what we need to do.
Nobody knows even what jigger fishing is. I've never even heard of anybody jigger fishing except for Ron.
Well, I remember I was out fishing one time, and there's a couple black guys in this little John boat, and I sat there and watched them. And I wasn't catching anything, and I kept seeing them catch fish. And so I started watching them, and what they were doing was they would get up in the weeds, and they would take their paddle, and then they would like make a big hole in the weeds with the paddle, and then they would just smoke a cigarette. And after they made the hole, they'd sit there and smoke a cigarette, and it was the length of time of what it took to smoke a cigarette. Then they put their little cork down in there with a minnow in that little hole, and all of a sudden, boom, they catch a fish every time. And so we were at the boat ramp, and the black guy goes, "Man, I saw you watching me over there." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Now I know how you do it. I'm going to gear up for next time I come out here." And he goes, "You son of a bitch." Like that. He was kidding. But, there's all kinds of tricks, man.
There's got to be a reason why they do that,
Yeah. And they were getting what they call
out a spot like that.
These stump knockers and these big bluegill, big brim and stuff like that. They weren't getting bass. They were getting stump knockers and
that, like I said, that's the way Ronnie told me to do it. You just take that fuzzy hurley popper out there and she says, just put it out there and just lay it on that lily pad and then just wiggle it around, make that lily pad active, make that lily pad move, and that's what'll get the fish's attention.
Did you catch one? Did you catch any?
I never did, but I don't think we ever did. But he taught me how to do it.
That's how you get those big ones, those big bass.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for, the big ones. Yeah, but I know the thought process behind it, Bill. Although I've never caught it with it.
Well, I'll keep everybody updated on it, and that's all the comments. And stay tuned for the next podcast. Anybody has any questions for Craig? Any new listeners? I go through all the comments, and if it's a good comment, try to keep it as short as you can, and then I'll get it to Craig, and we'll get his answer on it. So with that, happy trails.
Yeah, happy trails. And anybody's got any bids on that camera,
right?
Yeah, don't send them to my Facebook instant messenger. Go ahead and and get me at
Yeah, it's got a remote mic.
the stoned roadie at gmail.com. Yeah, write me there and put in your.
You can
bids on
live
the
stream. You can live stream, and you can put an app on your phone. It connects to your phone, and it's just as cool as it can be, man. It's what everybody's using now. Everybody's
Yeah,
using.
look on YouTube or whatever, and yeah, check them out. Yeah, everybody's raving about them. Yeah, they're real
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so yeah.
Stay tuned for the video coming up. Dave the Disciple with Mark Frank at the hospital where they took him after the plane crashed. He visits the hospital and he visits the monument. Stay tuned for that. Coming up next.
Yeah, so yeah. See you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile, and happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, keep token until then. And that's a wrap. Cut.
What's your name?
My name's Tom.
I'm Mark.
Mark. Pleasure to meet you, buddy.
That's Mark.
I'm Dave.
I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you,
Good to meet
Dave.
you.
You can just give us a tour of Southwest America. Same busy.
Not today. Today's Friday. They start shutting stuff down at 20 acres now, maybe? Maybe a little bit bigger.
And two, now it was just 3 stories. I think a lot of us when we were here. It's weird, actually, kind of being a survivor of such a plane crash or an event that's so historic. You know, I mean, everybody.
You know, every time I pass the exit on the interstate, I keep swearing, you got to stop. You got to make it a point to go.
Just shoot by there and just tell them Mark from South Carolina said, I mean, we always been out there once today. You just pull in, just right there, go up the steps. You're on. It's not public property, but it's not private property either. That's what it's there for. It's there for anybody who wants to go by and see it.
That's cardio too, but you want to stay close to the main entrance.
Well, actually, just kind of going through it, I guess it's fine because I never have done it. But I remember my room was on the 3rd floor, last room.
Okay.
Plus, I slur my words from the stroke.
Not a problem.
I know.
Sure, it's changed a lot since you've been here, huh?
It's gotten bigger. But actually, the year we crashed, and when we had the monument dedication, that was the 50th year of this hospital. 50. But they had just gone through before we crashed, they had just gone through a mock disaster,
Okay,
whatever.
I got you. A lot of people sit on these benches during the day. You know, when you got a break waiting on a doctor or whatever.
Everybody's wondering what the hell we're doing. We get hit. I ain't gonna see it.
No, we're all going to sue the hospital.
Make more money off that than this crash. There it is. This market's been in stuff, wasn't it? That's it.
You want to go stand with it, Mark? Get a picture?
we were the first ones here that night, and I remember when the lady that brought us, we pulled in, did that little loop, and man, doctors and nurses, everybody was standing outside in their garbs waiting on us. And I remember that.
Okay. Well, you got that open spot right there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I know they have a landscaper that does this.
Well, this is just right there.
You know, I never went there. Stopped out and read it.
Anniversary. I came down because I didn't remember going through the creek. I remember about halfway as we left the plane going up to the remote trailer. Johnny Moats left. So I didn't remember everything, so that's what brought me back down here that time. So me and Dwayne easily we re-walked. He showed me how we came out. So that's what brought me back. And then once I went back home, that was probably about July, August, and I had my stroke in. But I just happened to call Dwayne because at that time, all the responders, none of them had Facebook. Facebook was kind of new, or they didn't seek out anything, you know, didn't seek out. Just goes back to my stroke.
That's all right.
They avoided publicity. But I just happened to call Dwayne, and I bounced it off of him. I said, you care if some of the survivors come down to meet some of the first responders? He said, no, man, it'd be good. So, when 2017, for the 40th anniversary, that's how it got started. It just, and it just exploded after that.
Yeah.
USA Today, Justin Bickler did an article. CNN picked it up. Plus the Matt, I don't think it was his name, still writes for the Clarion Ledger, put an article out. And after that year, I mean, we put Gillsburg on the map like nothing else. And like I said, it's just taken off.
Yeah.
But over the years, they've had so many people from other countries. Dwayne, usually, in other words, Dwayne has property that the monument's on, and now that's a 501c, so that property is for the monument. Yeah. But
Oh,
over
it's
the
a
years,
historic place in the state of Mississippi.
oh yeah, and so we get together every October 19th and 20th. The 19th, people used to kind of celebrate or did concerts or whatever on the 20th, but didn't feel right. Our last show was in Greenville, Spartanburg area, where I grew up in South Carolina. Was on the 19th, so everybody has kind of started celebrating that rather than the 20th. But we'll always get together on the 19th and 20th. Skynyrd owns the world with a platform B band, OJ. We used to play,
Sorry, 1 second.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, man. Much appreciated. Trying to come through the trees, trying to slow us down.
What caused the engine to quit?
This jump, this piece of shit start with, excuse me, cringe. But if we were having trouble with fuel, it's not, you know, we have plenty of fuel. We lost a lot of fuel real fast, real quick. To this day, I can remember seeing fuel being pumped out. Those are two electric fuel pumps, the one for each. I can remember seeing fuel being pumped out in the arc, you know, right propeller stopping at the same time. So that just tells me that we had probably 6 or 7 minutes to pump out all the fuel that we had. So that's the reason why they found less than a pint of fuel.
So the engine had quit by then?
Oh yeah, you know, once that. I'm not gonna tell you about how we came in. I can't tell you as good as Dwayne and all them.
Yeah.
But anyway, we came in, we was passed. He had turned around once we started having trouble, and it was on the angle. Anybody that can tell you that we came in a circle on some of the angle knows what they're talking about. But anyway, it was past all those trees, that tree line there, back. Pretty good little, maybe 100 yards. That's when we came in. We were heading for a comb. Then we started hitting trees and came across for 495 feet at a 12-degree angle and popped that big one. That was it. We almost came through them. That's about Johnny Moe. If it hadn't been for that one big tree, we would have made it through them. But we didn't, you know.